We are making this project at Kowaki Park, Sora to Alba no Hiroba.
Sora is our child.
It's our son.
And Alba is our
daughter.
Little daughter.
What's important about this piece is that we live in a 1,000-year-old ceramic village, and
This is ceramic.
there's very little ceramics that you can actually interact with in a public setting. And what our work is intending to create is an opportunity for people, for children or for older people, to come and involve themselves in a piece. And that's where the plaza concept originated. The history of the project all began in the summer of 2000, July 2000. We met a man by the name of Junichiro Sugimoto sensei, and he invited us. We originally were looking for bricks for another project that we're making in the mountains of Mihama, the amphitheater, Mountain Plaza project. And we were introduced by Mr. Junpei Sugie sensei to Sugimoto sensei. And Sugimoto sensei at the time was working on a symposium which he invited us to participate in.
It was a
sculptural open air symposium. A month of making sculptures out and all of the pieces were to be donated to the public. We proposed a project, a small version of the amphitheater project that we are making.
We made it we made the piece in a week.
We made the piece in a week. We made and fired the piece within a month's period, which was part of the agreement. And we donated it to the city. Now this was, at the time, our son was sleeping in the car while we made the piece. At night, because that was the only time that we could really, and because of the summer heat, was the only time that we could really build the piece. So we entitled the piece Sora, Plaza de Sora.
Plaza de Sora.
Sora's Plaza. And due to vandalism,
that piece was vandalized, and then the people from the yacht harbor finished destroying it. So
it was a problem of communication. Well, then the story evolves to include a man by the name of Mr. Katsumi Morita. And Mr. Morita Katsumi-san has been very understanding, very sympathetic, very supportive for this work, and introduced us to the Kowaki Park site. The original piece, Sora no Hiroba, the problem was the site. The site itself wasn't welcoming to the piece.
And it wasn't a work with the community, so it was a piece just there. Nobody probably needed it. Nobody.
There wasn't an organic understanding. There wasn't an understanding from the community, embracing the piece, involved in the piece. People who could say, "My fingerprint is left in the piece," and that, when coming to Kowaki Park, now we have a work in the park that's involving the community, that the people can be physically involved in. And it's a park, it's a place designed and for people to relax in, to enjoy, to go to get energy from. It's a park to play in, and that's where, what a better place to create an art piece that can be appreciated by the general public.
And why Kowaki Park? Because it's in Tokoname. Our children are growing in Tokoname, and it's very close to our home. And our children play in that park, and so that's the reason why we made it in Kowaki Point.
多くの人たちに理解されるという方法はいくつかあると思いますが、スティーブンさんとヒメナさんの作品の場合はまたできる前から一つ一つストーリーがあって、それが一番最後に作品になるまでの過程としてずっと続いていくと。その何年間かが作品であるということで、 だから作品が終わってしまってからもその作品が生まれたまた出来上がったまでのストーリーが多くの人たちに、理解されたり応援されてる、こういう点が新しい彫刻でないかなと私は思います。要するに、人たちが、作品からいろんなものをいただいてまたどこかに発信していくエネルギーになるというふうに思ってます。だから私たちは自分の作品を作ると同時に場を作って多くの人たちの理解をまた広げていってもらうということが大事ではないかと思ってます。以上です。
Because it's being built and fired on the site,
In the same, so
we first have to do a number of calculations because first we'll require that we build the kiln base. The foundation will actually be in fact the base of the kiln, upon which we build the piece, taking into consideration the kiln firing. It will be both one form, the Sora chair piece will be a downdraft kiln, which will allow an internal flue, a chamber that will be and the Alba form of the plaza will be an updraft, which will be two different types of kilns. So taking into consideration those calculations that we have to make prior to the building of the actual piece, then that will be the brick foundation upon which the piece will be built. As we pray, we build it as we pray. So. The challenge, the technical challenge is that it is a work being made outside and that we have to work with the rains, the storms, the sun, the extremes of the weathers.
here in Japan, very extreme weather conditions to do this kind of work.
Another technical difficulty is that because it is ceramics, it's unusual to the ceramic world. It's more architecturally oriented ceramics. So structurally speaking, there's not much data on how to build such massive structures. So a lot of the data, although we're consulting with many, generation old ceramic artists, they say basically you have to make it and find out.
To know what it means to make it.
So it's a process of developing technology in an ancient material. もう一つのちょっと技術の話なんだけど、this isn't necessarily a ceramic requirement to the material, but one of the biggest challenges to building this work is not the actual ceramic technology, not a limitation of the material, it's a limitation of the mentality of the world we live in. People foresee ceramics as a functional ware, and even in the ceramic, in the sculptural world, it's not.
Even if it's not functional, they make it hollow. They make it hollow with thin walls.
Lightweight, can't have cracks in it. We believe that ceramics is of the earth. It's an earthen material, earthenware. It doesn't have to be light. In fact, the earth is not light. It's quite a dense material. But also what we're working with is the community, and in involving people and educating people and getting people involved.
And getting people excited also, doing something for their community by themselves.
It's rare in this world we live in that people actually make things, and that you get involved and build it and they will come. I mean, begin to build it and they'll jump in and start building with you and we all build it together kind of thing.
Yeah. So you like it, huh? Yeah. Are you going to invite your friends?
Yeah.
Yeah. 見るはもちろん I mean you can see it, you can see it. Anybody can see it from the distance or from. I think what's important about this kind of work is that people can touch it. It's not in a museum. It's not in a gallery. It's not something that people comes to buy. So I think that more than wanting people just to see it, is people to touch it and to sit and to play here. That I think that's the.
To interact with it. It's
That
a
will
piece
be
to
our,
be.
our kind of our hope. That we hope that people can do that. That people can.
Usually in a museum you have a sign that says, please don't touch. If anything, I'd like to have a sign that says, please touch.
It's amazing because look at this. This is big. I'm a little bit like concerned, but it looks like they're gonna make a ladder here. This can be really amazing. That metal control towers are made by metal, but to people with only hand to do this, I think is amazing. And for me, to do this is a little bit scary. But I think it'll be okay. Bye. And let's get off, Papa!
The message should be the piece. They came. They came and saw the piece, and they said, "Oh, you can do that with clay. And you can do it in one place and fire it in one place. You know, it doesn't need to be light. It doesn't need to be transportable. I think the message is the work, and I think that's what that's our work. What we do is to express ourselves through the clay, and the message. People has to receive the message from the clay, and if people doesn't receive it, it's because the work is not good.
It's a message, I think it's also a message of, it's a sensation. You walk in the forest,
feeling.
you feel
It's
it,
a feeling.
wow, something that's bigger than you, that encompasses you, that you stand next to, and you have a physical reaction, a physical relationship. It's a work that moves.
To be touched by it naturally, not because we say we made it like this or like that, just because they saw it and they felt it and they're touched by it. So.
And it leaves a memory that it touches you, your psyches, that it moves you. Then you continually, oh, it's like that piece that we saw once in Kowaki Park a long time ago. That it leaves that a trace in your mind,
Memory.
footsteps somewhere in there.
Okay. Yes.